Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk Whiskey. This is episode number 43, and I'm Nick with you as always. Now, you might be scratching your head a little bit if you've been following our review series thus far, because we have a bunch of Jack Daniel's products here, yes, first and foremost, but we've already reviewed them all. So, if you haven't already looked at the title, which is a little bit hard to do nowadays, you're probably wondering what we're doing. Well, it's not the Gentleman Jack. It's not the Green Label even. It's not Single Barrel. Nope, not even that. It's not even the highly sought after first batch of the unaged rye or the second batch of the rested rye. Not even that. So what the heck are we doing? And no, it's not one of the liqueurs that we've done before. The Tennessee Honey and the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire. Not even those. But guess what? I can do you one better. For the first time online that I've seen anywhere, now you can go and try to correct me if I'm wrong, but I've looked extensively. It's the first review on Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof. So, like I said, first time I think that anybody has done a review on it, but you got it here first. Just let that be said for the record. And you know I've been talking about this over the past couple months because there's been some sort of, I wouldn't say speculation, but sort of, is this coming out? When is it coming out? Why won't the advertisement and marketing people be upfront about when it's coming out? Anyway, all of that aside, finally we've got the product here, and that's what matters most, right? So, Single Barrel Barrel Proof. For the price that you get for this bottle, which is roughly around $60-something when I got it, is pretty good for a barrel-proof whiskey. So, as I've said before, you know those prices are skyrocketing up there. But, let's go over what we have. Now, if you go and buy one of these, if you can find it anywhere, your alcohol by volume percentage, or your proof, is going to be different than somebody next to you who's buying another bottle of it, which is the beauty of it. Single barrel coming from one barrel at whatever barrel proof that is. Now they certainly measure that out and they put it on here. This one is 64.9% ABV. And for those of you who don't want to do the math like I didn't want to do it, it's 129.8 proof. So that is a whopping amount of single barrel Tennessee whiskey there. Absolutely amazing. Been a long time in coming. So let's get it out. They go with their traditional style of single barrel bottle, as you can tell, with basically, make sure that's right, their single barrel line, right? Which is also the same as the rested rye and the unaged rye. But, hey, it works and it looks great. So, the only thing that's different is you'll notice that the cork is a bit different than the other one. It's got a little bit thicker top to it, but that doesn't really matter too much, right? It's about what it tastes like. So, let's get into it. Now, just to caution you, if you're going to be tasting this yourself, if you've got a bottle or someone gives you a sample or what have you, is you're going to want it, give it some time. And also, as you've seen in my other reviews, give it some good old water. Can't hurt. I went into ice, and I'll just bring this back up, as I've said before, is ice tends to be so cold that it numbs a lot of the flavors that are in the whiskey, making it hard for you to truly enjoy, the full, breadth of the whiskey that you're tasting. And when you're paying that much for it, you want to get the full experience. So I would suggest, again, filtered water at room temperature is fine, give or take. You don't have to be crazy about it. I've got my glass here so I can pour me some, but I've also got another glass that I've been sitting out for probably 15 to 20 minutes or so with some water in it, just letting it simmer down a little bit, open up, and see if we can discern anything different from tasting it at barrel proof. Now, if you look on the bottle, it says, and it's not on this. It's actually on the cardboard box here. But best savored neat or with a few cubes of ice. Now I don't really recommend ice, like I said, and going neat, going straight into the bottle, is sometimes a little bit hairy because it is bottled at 64 something percent ABV, and that is a pretty big punch. So we don't want a lot there because we want to save some for later, obviously. And we'll put the water back because we've already dropped some water in there. Now, okay, first let's look at the color. Deep, rich, just a beautiful gold with a little bit of a rosy tint to it. Now when you go in for the nose, you don't want to go straight in and take a big sort of sniff of it because it's going to numb a lot of those receptors in your nose, and basically that is going to just blow all your ability to smell and discern between things away for a good while. So if you do go and take a first nose, kind of just be cautious with it, you know? Bring it up slowly and that sort of thing. If you do happen to get a little bit too much, I know it seems weird, but you can smell the back of your hand. Something that's always with you, you know, if you've got your hands. You know, don't want to leave those out, who don't? But if you do, smell the back of your hand, something that we understand is familiar and can get us back to square one. And you can go in, try again, and do a nosing. So, let's do it. First thing that I'm getting is the traditional Jack Daniel's smell and aromas to it. Deep, deep brown sugar notes going on in there. Definitely the toasted oak. The homemade barrels that are made at Jack Daniel's are just ever powering in that nose. Definitely a little bit of the dark fruits in there, but I would say predominantly what you're getting is that dark brown sugar and definitely the toasted oak. Let's go in for a taste. It's like the most delicious, sweet, melted down mixture of dark brown sugar and butter, you know, laid over some, you know, cinnamon rolls, something like that. Even graham cracker or something like that. If you could imagine those all coming together. Just wonderful. It is nice and thick and slightly, it's got a chewiness to it, which is a little bit interesting, but definitely the brown sugar, the graham cracker. Definitely caramel, definitely some toasted marshmallow in there. And really, as I've said before, going to that campfire palate that I like to talk about a lot is because you definitely get all of that in there. Just absolutely amazing. It's basically Jack Daniel's Black Label on steroids, obviously. Because being bottled at such a high proof, you're getting so much bang for your buck. It's just phenomenal. I'm just going to look quick. I want to see, well, I grabbed the wrong thing there. Just want to see color-wise what we have. And this is really interesting. And I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Oh, actually I got the Tennessee Rye. Pardon me. Let me get the real thing out here. Great, here we go. Now, if you can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you definitely have a much richer color in here in the barrel proof than you do in just the single barrel. Now, that's obviously going to be the case because you have less water in the single barrel proof. Obviously, we know that. Because the 40%, as I believe this is actually 47%, sorry. So many things are, you know, watered down these days at 40% ABV. It's hard to tell which, you know, is and which isn't without looking closely. So we have that. Just a little comparison because you do get such a rich golden brown, like I said, with that little hint of red in there, which is just lovely. Let's go in for one more before we try the slightly watered down, slightly left out for a little bit. Just nice and spicy. It's lovely. Again, the same things that I mentioned before, but definitely the fruits that are in there, dried fruits, deep spice, long lasting flavor. It'll be there with you for a while. Just an absolutely phenomenal whiskey. So glad to finally have it, and I hope, should you be able to, find that locally near you, and if not right now, hopefully soon. Hopefully that will get out in your area. Less of a sense of the dark brown sugar note going on, and more this creamy vanilla toasted oak going on. Still with a hint of spice in there. Definitely the dried fruits. Let's go in for a taste. It's very interesting. Once you let it sit for a little bit, let it open up, what you start getting is more of the dried fruits notes that are going on in there. Definitely the toasted oak and a strong vanilla undercurrent carrying everything through the whole experience. But the mouthfeel is the same, basically. Nice, creamy, long-lasting, slightly chewiness going on in there. And the finish is it's just amazing. And I'm very impressed, I will say, after, going through everything to even get this bottle. I was told at a recent whiskey festival, it was even on the sign, people. I'm telling you, I can't make this up. On the sign at the Jack Daniel's table, where it lists which whiskeys you can sample, was a single barrel proof. Then I asked, well, where is it? Oh, that hasn't been released yet. Well, it's on the sign there, sweetheart. So, I don't know. Anyway, all that aside, finally glad it's here. It was great. It's amazing. Very glad to have tasted it and have it now. Let's give it a score. Let's not be subtle about this. Let's just go for the gusto, because really, Tennessee whiskies out there, talking to you, you gotta really work to do better than this one. So I'm going to give you a little bit of room to do so, but 98 out of 100, just superb, wonderful. If you can get your hands on a bottle, please do. And when the single barrel rye comes out, let me know, because that's another one that has been purported that it would be out here soon, probably in next year, if they are going back to the drawing board, if they didn't like how the aged rye turned out, then obviously they're going to be changing things up, making it better, that sort of thing, which is great. You want them to put out a quality product, and you can't blame them for that. So, there you have it. Straight Talk Whiskey, episode number 43, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, coming to you for the first time. Remember, you saw it here first. So, I hope you stick around for more reviews in the upcoming future. We have a lot of great things coming up. And have a great week. If you do drink, please drink responsibly, as always, and we'll see you next time.